It's a working man I am, and I've been down underground. And I swear to God, if I ever see the sun, or for any length of time, I can hold it in my mind. I never again will go down underground. At the age of 16 years, he'll quarrel with his peers, who vowed they'd never see another one. In the dark recess of the mind, where you age before your time, and the coal dust lies heavy on your lungs. It's a working man I am, and I've been down underground. And I swear to God, if I ever see the sun, or for any length of time, I can hold it in my mind. I never again will go down underground. At the age of 64, he'll greet you at the door and gently lead you by the arm to the dark recess of the mind. He'll take you back in time and show you all the hardships that were his. It's a working man I am, and I've been down underground. And I swear to God, if I ever see the sun, or for any length of time, I can hold it in my mind. Then I never again will go down underground. And it's a working man I am, and I've been down underground. And I swear to God, if I ever see the sun, or for any length of time, I can hold it in my mind. Then I never again will go down underground.
The Working Man from Jim Foster. No longer a working man, actually, but good afternoon, Jim Foster.
Good afternoon, Mark. Nice to be here.
Nice to have you here. Playing a nice wee sort of mellow song that's sung very much around the clubs. Just to give everybody the introduction to you, Jim. You're a singer who's been singing around the club and pub circuit for a number of years.
That's one way of putting it. A long number of years.
A long number of years.
Yeah.
Tell us where it all started and how it all started for you.
How it all started. Well, I lived in Dunfermline for a long time, and I'd done a bit of singing when I was a kid, one way or another, cub shows and scout shows, and I got hauled into the church choir as well. But I never really thought of myself as a singer, to be perfectly honest. Anyway, this is when I was an apprentice. And we're living in Dunfermline, used to go out in the Razzle every weekend. Anyway, pal of mine says, come on along this sing-song. Sing-song? What the blaze is a sing-song? He says, oh, there's got a couple of guys play in the pub, he says, and they do a wee bit, and then they get folk for the crowd up to sing. So I said, all right, come on then. So I went along and listened to some of them. It's like karaoke these days, you know. Some folk are good and some folk are not so good. Anyway, my pal Graham, he got up and sung like that and told the MC guy about me, so they dragged me up. So anyway, that became a regular, can't even say it right, a regular occurrence. Went to the pub every now and again, you know, and would get up and do a song every so often. And then it became 2 songs. And then as it transpired, the guys, there was an accordionist and a guitarist, and they persuaded me to join them. So I thought about it. You're only an apprentice, you're only getting a pittance every week. And the money was about a third of my wages. I'll have some of that. And that's how I really got started.
I do remember, I mean, going back into the 80s, and I'm going back to the 60s, I suppose.
Oh, yeah, late 60s.
To the late 60s, because my dad used to say the same thing, that around the pubs, and that's where the entertainment was. And it was just a general sing song, but not just in the pubs. I mean, the pub shut early and people go back to a house, and it was a bit like passing the mic around, but obviously there was no mics, but everybody had to sing a wee song and do their turn, and that was entertainment in those days. And
it certainly was.
And brought a lot of people like yourself into the music game. So when did the first gig start then, when you were working with these guys?
Well, I started up playing in the pub with them every week, every Saturday night. And then we got a couple other gigs around about the clubs in Dunfermline. But it all came to a halt because I used to work in the side dockyard. Came out my time and I got transferred through to Faz Lane. So didn't really do anything for a wee while, but they told me there was a guy that was in the same block as me where we were working, that was a singer-songwriter. Should have a word with him. And I did, and we ended up forming a wee group through there. So it was a wee trio. There was the pair of us, and we got a girl singing, same thing again, going around with the pubs and the clubs around about there. But it was only 2 years through there, and got transferred back to the side again. So that kind of died on its backside for a wee while. But I ended up with all the gear. Why? I'm not really sure. It wasn't a case of me nicking the gear. It was just, I don't know. I ended up with the gear. Anyway, it was about a year back in Dunfermline working in the dockyard, and I thought, I've got this gear, I'm just going to get shot with it. So put an advert in a local paper to sell it. So a guy called Gary Weston, I don't know if you remember a guy called Gary Weston.
No.
Country and western singer, he used to go around the pubs and clubs, called himself the Orkney Cowboy as well, for obvious reasons. And he phones up, he says, selling your gear, he says, how good is it? I says, well, it's not particularly great. He says, oh, I'm going into the studio, he says, I'm needing some good... I says, well, you really do not want this stuff. So
you're really selling it here, Jim.
Eh?
You're really selling it here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, I knew it wasn't quality stuff at all. It was okay, but no high quality stuff at all. And actually, that taught me a valuable lesson, believe it or not. So he says, why are you selling it? So I explained I'd been this singer doing all this and that. He says, why are you not singing here? I says, well, I've never ever tried to get any work. I says, don't know how to go about doing it. He said, do you like to play Valleyfield Club tonight? And I says, I'm not sure about that. He says, go on. He says, you can have the gig. And he says, it's 16 quid. And that was, woof, I'll do that for 16 quid. So I went out, did the gig. He phones up the following day. He says, how did you get on? I says, no bad. I says, I got a couple encores. Oh, he says, you must be all right then. He says, you want another gig tonight? So, if you like. So I ended up some other club in Glen Craig, I think it was, which is now no longer there. And I had to play with an accordion. Oh no, it's horrendous. Absolutely horrendous.
Been there.
And I thought, why am I doing this? So he phones me up the following day, how did you get on? And I says, well, I didn't really enjoy that at all. So he's laughing his head off. He says, I didn't think you... So anyway, he says that was actually an agent's job, he says, that I couldn't do. He says, I'd been no well all weekend, he says, so that's how you got these 2 jobs, you see. So he put me on an agent, which was M&F. Do you remember M&F?
Yep.
And they ended up giving me a whole stack of work, and
Do you know, it's
never
good.
finished since then.
It's good, for for the benefit of some younger singers and some people who are newer on the circuit. To go back and reminisce about the days where you turned up in the back and was, somebody on the accordion or somebody on the guitar, and people who didn't read music and stuff like that, and it was quite a difficult grounding, Nowadays you're either playing with a band that are fully versed, or you're using self-contained and your own backing tracks, and at least you know what's happening.
What's coming, yeah.
Sometimes you never knew what tempo it was going to be in, or
Well, the thing was, you had your way of singing the song or playing the song, and they had their way of playing the song.
yeah.
And they tended to no bother about how you wanted to do it. It was just how they wanted to do it. Oh my God, it was murder. It was murder at times.
Sorry, we're just knocking the microphones
Yeah.
away. The question I was going to ask you, I mean, obviously, because there was loads and loads of different types of music around about that time.
Yeah.
So what sort of influences in music, and styles did you start off with?
Well, originally I was born and brought up in Glenshee, and that was the heart of Scottish music. Every Saturday night you were listening to the Scottish dance music on the radio, and to be perfectly honest, I really don't remember too much other kinds of music around about then. And then when we moved away from there to Blairgowrie and that, and then on to Aberfeldy, really didn't, as a kid, I didn't really listen to the radio at all, and didn't really have too much. When we moved back to Blairgowrie, started listening a wee bit to the radio, but of course my dad, he was into classical music and everything else was rubbish. So I'm sure you'll have been there yourself. Yep. So again, I wasn't really listening to too much. You heard the early 60s, and then the Beatles hit. And of course, like every other teenager around about then, so I had to get a hold of a transistor radio somewhere or other. So it was a case of under the bedclothes at night, listening to Radio Luxembourg or whatever, or trying to listen before, if the old man was on back shift or night shift, on with Radio Luxembourg in the living room and listening to all that. And so, of course, it was early 60s pop that sort of influenced me. But because I'd had this grounding in Scottish music, if you like, I started hearing things like Jim Reeves and folk like that, and I thought, that's more the kind of thing that I like, although I did like a lot of the 60s pop as well.
Well, we're going to play six of your tracks. This one is a more modern, it's a country track. It was written by Garth Brooks.
He part writer of it, yeah, definitely.
Part writer of it.
Yep.
And this
Love this song.
is If Tomorrow Never Comes.
Yeah.
Sometimes late at night I lie awake and watch her sleeping. She's lost in peaceful dreams, so I turn out the light and lay there in the dark. And a thought crosses my mind: if I never waken in the morning, would she ever doubt the way I feel about her in my heart? If tomorrow never comes, will she know how much I loved her? Did I try in every way to show her every day that she's my only one? And if my time on earth were through, and she must face this world without me, this love I gave her in the past gonna be enough to last if tomorrow never comes. 'Cause I've lost loved ones in my life who never knew how much I loved them. Now I live with the them never were revealed. So I made a promise to myself to say each day how much she means to me, and avoid that circumstance where there's no second chance to tell her how I feel. If tomorrow never comes, will she know how much I love her? Did I try in every way to show her every day that she's my only one? And if my time on earth were through, and she must face this world without me, this love I gave her in the past gonna be enough to last if tomorrow never comes. So tell that someone that you love just what you're thinking of if tomorrow never comes.
As Jim Foster, we'll be back talking to Jim again after a little bit of Sia.
Your very own Mr. Entertainment, Mark Mulgrew on 107.8 Black Diamond FM.
Well, I met my love by the gasworks crop. I dreamed a dream by the old canal, when I kissed my girl by the factory wall. Dirty old town, dirty old town. Clouds are drifting across the moon. Cats are prowling on their feet, and spring is a girl in the streets at night. Dirty old town, dirty old town. I heard a siren from the dock. I saw a train set the night on fire, and I smelt the spring on the sulphur wind. Dirty old town, dirty old town. And we're gonna take a good sharp axe of shining steel, tempered in the fire, and we'll chop you down just like an old dead tree. A dirty old town, dirty old town. Dirty old town, dirty old town.
If you have just tuned in, that is Jim Foster. He is my guest this afternoon, and that is Dirty Old Town. And we were talking off air, Jim,
Yep.
and I would have said that was an Irish folk song, but you're telling me the history of the song.
It's not. It was written by Ewan McCall, and it's actually a song about the Salford area of Manchester. And,
So it's an English folk song.
yes, I'm afraid so.
There you go. Bit of education here on Black Diamond FM. I mean, it's not something that I would normally look into. Yeah, that's Jim sticking my head in the mic again.
Aye.
As soon as you mention English folk songs, that's it. So it'd be fair to say then that, you know, the influence, and you're saying, you know, brought up in Glenshee and there's folk music and you know, traditional Scottish music, that has influenced what you do in your shows.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's sort of, I'm more to the easy listening sort of thing, country and folk. I do a lot of 60s stuff because I loved that era, and some of the early 70s as well. But you're right. I do probably if I was listening to anything, it would be somebody like Emmylou Harris, who's a big country star, as you're no doubt aware. And I love Waylon Jennings' stuff and folk like that, Willie Nelson, Chris Christophers, and all that kind of thing. You know,
Just as you say, middle of the road, easy listening. So that's pretty much what people would expect if they're going to come along and see Jim Foster doing a show.
yeah. They'll get a bit of everything like that. You know, easy listening, pop, country, some Scottish stuff, a wee bit of folk. Yeah.
Wee bit of Gene Pitney.
Let's not go there.
Standing joke for those in the know. Now,
Just let's not go there.
there is one particular show that you wanted to talk about today.
Aye.
And it is an evening of Scottish music. It says, come to the Cayley. Now, on the bill, there are Gabber Lundsay, the Derek Muir Band, the Alana Brown Dancers, Five's very own Adette Clark, Bert Allen, our very favourite comedian,
Yeah.
and yourself, Jim Foster. Now, tell us a wee bit about the show. It's been held on Thursday, the 1st of October. Tell us a bit about it.
Well, it's basically a charity show, and it's in aid of Parkinson's disease, which unfortunately my wife's got. And you know yourself, we all go and do these charity shows, and we raise a few £100. And I thought, let's do something a bit different. Let's even just, you know, make a good few bob. Now, I've been involved in something like this with Derek Muir, you know, the guy that's doing music for us, back in Logelly Centre about 3 or 4 years ago. And it was just all local acts that we had in, and we filled the place.
Yeah.
And it was, you know, we got a really good reception. And I thought, let's do something along those lines. But I thought it'd be better getting a big name to sort of do the second half,
Yeah.
and the local guys and that to do the first half. So that's how we're doing it.
Now, we'll obviously run a piece on it as it gets closer.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Mind you, October's not that far away, in fairness.
It's not.
But it's a Thursday night, the 1st
Yep.
of October. It's in the Carnegie Hall in Dunfermline. And it's in aid of Parkinson's. It says here, change attitudes, find a cure and join us. Quite right. An absolute great lineup, I've got to say.
Well, I hope so.
Well, it looks like it. Well,
Gabber Lundsay are a great band.
it's a lovely picture. That's what I'm saying. It just looks nice. No, I'm going to pass it on to Jim Ritchie and to Sharon Colvin because their listenership may well be interested in that as well.
Well, that'd be great. We'd love to have them across.
So, I mean, you mentioned we'll do these charity shows. There is a big element of what we do on the circuit, which is, you know, helping out other people as well. You spend a lot of time doing that as well, don't you?
Yeah, well, Bert Allen got me into that. I'd done one or two that I'd sort of invited to do, and I didn't realise how big they were. And some of them are really, really good. Some of them are a bit naff as well, I have to say. But that said, the heart's always in the right place when it, you know, for what it's in aid of usually, you know. The heart's always in the right place. And it's amazing. You just have to pick up the phone and ask. And unless the person's working, they'll come and do it for you, which is just unbelievable these days, really.
Well, that's it. I mean, you've been at a few that I've done and
right.
been at, and one particular one that I had on a couple of years ago, and there was 43 acts on the bill. That was someday. I've got to say.
It was. I think, on reflection, I don't know how you felt yourself, but I felt afterwards we shouldn't have had that amount of acts on, because the folk that came along with the acts filled the place, and we couldn't get enough of the punters who were going to pay.
Do you know, it was one of them that I had put out for it was for the Clutha helicopter disaster
The Clutha thing, yeah.
and I couldn't say no to anybody. You know, everybody had said. The only ones that really sort of stood back and says, okay, right, we'll no bother then, you know, were the 6 and 7 piece bands that wanted to come on the stage as well.
Yeah.
But everybody wanted to do their bit, and that's
They did,
the whole part about the showbiz community, I suppose.
Yeah, everybody does it. I mean, when I put it came up on Facebook, I don't know how I managed to do it. I didn't want it advertised too early, and I got a couple of volunteers coming through and saying, I'd like to do it. I said, well, I'm very sorry, can't I? I'm restricted to what I can do. But it's right, it's amazing.
But there are other things that people can help out with on the night. If anybody wants to get involved, if anybody has the Parkinson's UK close to their heart, you can get involved by selling raffle tickets, selling tickets, and do various things.
Just advertise it for us.
So if anybody wants to, you can get in touch with me here at Black Diamond FM, and I'll put you in touch with Jim.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm after, tartan drapes. I don't know where I can get it. If anybody knows where I can get tartan drapes, please let me know. Quite happy to pay for the hire of them.
We're going to be sticking this on YouTube tonight, right? So we'll put a little tag in it for tartan drapes.
Yep, that'd be brilliant. I never thought of that until now.
Excellent. Yep, I'm trying to think if I've got anything in the cupboard. I'm sure there'll be some stuff lying about somewhere. Right, we're going to play another one of your songs just now, and then we're going to come back and have a final wee chat. This is Make Me an Island.
Yep.
Tell me about this song.
That's from 1968, an Irish guy called Joe Dolan, who had 2 hits back then. And it was just a song I always liked. And found a backing track for it, and there we go.
One that you do regular?
Yes, I do, yeah.
Good man.
Got it on my CD, one of my CDs, yeah.
Oh, we'll be talking about CDs for sale shortly.
Oh, we've got it.
Different eyes, different size, different girls every day, different names, different games, took my breath clean away. But I've changed, rearranged, I'm enlightened now. You have caught me, you have taught me, and I'm different now. So take me and break me and close all your windows and doors. Shut me up, cut me up, make me an island, I'm yours. Oh, take me away from the world and take me away from the girls. Take me and break me and make me an island, I'm yours. Running round, shifting round, was the life I had seen. Now I'm tired, uninspired, and I've wiped my slate clean. I am yours, you are mine, if the Lord will allow. You have taught me, you have taught me, and I'm different now. So take me and break me and close all your windows and doors. Shut me up, cut me up, make me an island, I'm yours. Oh, take me away from the world, take me away from the girls. Yes, take me and break me and make me an island, I'm yours. Oh, take me and break me and close all your windows and doors. Shut me up, cut me up, make me an island, I'm yours. Oh, take me away from the world. Yes, take me away from the girls. Oh, take me and break me and make me an island, I'm yours. Yes, take me and break me and make me an island, I'm yours. Oh, take me and break me and make me an island, I'm yours.
I couldn't wait to see your face again.
joy come back into another's eyes. And here you are, you're in my arms, like I said that you would be. And when the stone was finally rolled away, I knew the time had come when death would rule no more, and you and I wouldn't meet again. But the only thing that troubled me was somebody told me you were crying. Somebody told me there were teardrops in your eyes. Somebody told me you were crying, crying over me. Not even death could stop this love we shared. Oh, I must leave you now, I'm just a prayer away. So close your eyes, speak my name, and I'll be with you like those winter days. Somebody told me you were crying, and somebody told me there were teardrops in your eyes. Somebody told me you were crying, crying over. Somebody told me you were crying, and somebody told me there were teardrops in your eyes. Somebody told me you were crying, crying over. That you were crying over me.
Jim Foster and Somebody Told Me. Done by researchers.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep, well, that's their version of it. But written by a guy called Bob Lind of a group called The Allies, who's an American. Had a big hit with a song called big hit in America called Butterfly Kisses, I believe.
Yes.
Although I'm not really familiar with that song. But only found that out after.
I've got the backing track somewhere.
What, Butterfly Kisses?
Aye. I've got that somewhere.
I think I have as well, but I don't know the song. But I heard the Searchers doing it at a concert and just fell in love with the song. Decided I had to get that done. And
So people have been listening to your music this afternoon, Jim. And it gives a flavour of what's available if people want to book you. Now, if people want to get in touch and buy CDs, you've got various CDs that you've recorded over the years.
Yep.
Tell us how they can do that.
well, check my website, jimfostersinger.co.uk, or they can email me. I think you can put my email address up on your website. Because they're not available in the shops as such. But that's the way to do it.
But the email address is on the website as well,
It's on the website.
jimfostersinger.co.uk.
Yep.
And so there's three different CDs.
Yep.
Daydream Believer, there's Highland Cathedral,
Yep.
and there's also Remember Me as well.
Yep.
Just as well I've got my glasses on, I can see them at this other side of the table. And if people want to book you, it's best just to book you through the website or get in touch that way as well.
You can get a hold of me that way, or any of the good agents. Just ask for me with any of the good agents.
Any of the good agents. And some others.
And some others, yeah.
No, basically, just get in touch with
Sure.
with the agents across Scotland, and you still enjoy it, Jim, after all these years.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I've got to the stage now where I don't have to do it, to be perfect. It's not for the money anymore. But you'll know yourself.
Didn't I say it's not for the money? Because I seen you trying to win money on a BBC TV show.
that was just for the enjoyment as well. God, it could only have been £1,000, but that was good fun. That was enjoyable.
Pointless exercise.
Yeah, it was a pointless exercise. It sure was. Yeah, I've got to say, I don't really do it for the money. Although the money's great, don't get me wrong. I do, but I don't know what I'd do if I stopped.
Well,
I really don't know.
That's the thing. I mean, if I'm being gracious, you're getting on in years now.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, there's loads and loads of singers who have continued their career. And I remember, as I would, I remember an interview that Tom Jones did just a couple of years ago. And he said exactly the same thing. He says, "What would I do?
Yeah.
Because this is all I've ever done."
Yeah.
And he wouldn't know what to do with his time, and because he still loves doing the job, which you clearly still do.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
And
Nothing like the buzz.
nothing like the buzz.
No, definitely not.
Travelling's a bit of pain, but well.
Correct. Well, you can't make an omelette without breaking eggs. You've got to just. Yeah.
That's it. You're absolutely right. The final question, and I always ask everybody, is what advice would you give to anybody who's looking to get involved in this singing circuit game and performing? What advice would you give?
God knows.
Don't do it.
No, I would never say to anybody, don't do it. 2 or 3 things. There's no one thing. Don't listen to the people closest to you who tell you you're a good singer, because they're telling you lies. They are. I don't care what anybody says. I mean, you see some of these folk going on these programmes, and their folk have told them they're great, and they're no. You can tell them they're not.
Yep.
Folk in the business will tell you whether you're good or not. And if you're doing it, buy the best gear that you possibly can, with the money you've got. And if you're using backing tracks, get the best backing tracks that you possibly can. Don't scrimp.
Yep.
Because a good singer with bad gear or bad backing tracks will sound like a bad singer.
That's a fair bit of advice, I've got to say. No, it's a very true and valid point,
Yeah.
Buy the best equipment you can afford.
Yeah, definitely.
And always perform. I mean, I always say, always perform to the best of your ability. Give it 100%.
That goes without saying. If you can't give it 100%, don't do it.
Well, Jim, thank you very much. We're going to play one final tune of yours. We're going to play you doing Highland Cathedral.
Yep, love this song.
An old favourite of yours.
Yep. I'd never heard it as a song until a guy who was a bus driver that did tours up north gave me a copy. He says, "You should be singing this." And it was the guy that put the words to it, a guy called Ben Kelly, had done from up in Inverness, had turned it out as a single with a children's choir, which did absolutely nothing for me. But I got a hold of Greg
Friel.
Greg Friel. I says, "Can you make a backing track of this for me, Greg, and make it sound a bit like Run Rig?" Came back. That's the end result, which I'm really happy
Greg
with.
is no stranger to the show, so another wee bit of advertising for freelance music in Glasgow.
Yeah, great guy, Greg.
There you go. I need to send the invoice to Greg. Yeah. I'll tag him on the YouTube link, and then we'll see if we can get some royalties for him.
Yeah, I would think so.
Jim, thank you very much. Thanks for popping in.
That's been my pleasure.
Because I know you've got nothing else to do during the day.
Correct.
Being retired. And all the best. And long may it continue.
I hope so as well.
Continue enjoying it, and I'll catch you at one of these gigs.
I'm sure you
Short
will.
period of time. Just a reminder that on Thursday the 1st of October there is a show in Carnegie Hall box. Well, you can get the tickets for the Carnegie Hall box office. It's in Carnegie Hall in Dunfermline. It's an evening of Scottish music with Gabber Lindsay, the Derek Muir Band, the Alana Brown Dancers, Odette Clark, Bert Allen, and our guest today, Jim Foster.
Land of my fathers, we will always be faithful and loyal to our own country. In times of danger we will set you free, lead you to glory and to victory. Hail Caledonia to our ancient prayer. In this Highland Cathedral let our standards bear, joining together with one dream to share. God bless the people of this land so fair. Gone is the past, let us start anew. Let this hope of peace always remain. Spirit of Scotia, be strong and true, then your children will smile again. Rise, Caledonia, let your voices ring in this Highland Cathedral of our God and King, whom joy and liberty to all bring. Come, let your heart with love and courage sing. Don't we the exile or distant seas, the home of their birth, gone from their eyes, bring back their souls for the ocean breeze to the land where the fathers lie. Rise, Caledonia, let your voices ring in this Highland Cathedral of our God and King, whom joy and liberty to all bring. Come, let your heart with love and courage sing. Rise, Caledonia, let your voices ring in this Highland Cathedral of our God and King, whom joy and liberty to all bring. Come, let your hearts with love and courage sing. Come, let your heart with love and courage